Derick Giwner along with Matt Rose here at DRF headquarters to discuss the Levy for this Saturday night at Yonkers Raceway, April the 7th. Usually we do the matchmaker in the Levy. With so many of the top guns taken out of the matchmaker this week, getting a little rest. I guess Sharton, Twinkle, McKenzie, they're all taking a little break. We're going to focus on the Levy, right?
Sounds good to me. Yeah, we'll give props to Sharton and McKenzie. Is McKenzie A or McKenzie A? McKenzie A, last year's matchmaker champ. Both taking deserved weeks off after dominating the last couple of starts. So we'll move on to the Levy.
Okay, we're going to look at race number 6 first. That's the first division of the 4th leg as they all vie for points to try to make it to the final in a couple of weeks. This, a nice 7-horse field, but I think we're going to have a pretty big favorite and bit of a legend. And we're going to look at his effort last week. It was pretty impressive, even to finish second, considering the fact that the pace was really slow and he was up on the rim. It was a pretty big effort. Let's see if we can get that up on the screen, the race from Bit of a Legend. He's the 6 on the outside, and he's trying to run down the leader.
Yeah, we saw Dr. J. Hanover gets away with murder on the front end for the 3rd week in a row, 28-3, 58. Bit of a Legend was able to find a 3-hole seat, elected to tuck 3rd. Came first over, just kept grinding. It wasn't going to get to the leader in a very stepped-up back half, but solid effort, an effort that we're accustomed to seeing from Bit of a Legend for the last few seasons. Now, this spot, it's his turn to take charge. I don't see anything getting in his way here.
It's a soft race. It's basically a soft field, and this is a race where he stamps his ticket into the final with a win here.
Absolutely, he's going to be an odds-on favorite. He deserves to be an odds-on favorite. To me, the only question is, when does he move to the lead? Does he just sprint off the gate, go to the lead, or does he wait, maybe down the backstretch, go to the quarter, brush to the lead? I don't really see any speed in here, aside from Chumley is okay leaving from the rail. Long Live Rock is a nice horse, but we haven't really seen much speed out of him. Maybe Caviar Luca can take a shot and leave. I don't see any other horses being able to leave the gate and preventing this from lining up maybe 1-2 with the Bit of Legend taking commands, or just lining up 2-1 out of the gate. I don't see anything getting in Jordan Stratton's way, getting to the lead, rating the pace, and winning comfortably.
I'm in complete agreement. I felt like week after week we're trying to beat the favorites. This looked like a race where you got to be on board the favorite here. This looks like, Bit of a Legend over Chumley, which is the 1, or maybe Long Live Rock, which is the 3.
Well, listen, Long Live Rock's a nice horse. He's done nothing wrong, but is he first over here in this spot? And if he is first over...
once in a blue moon, he does show early speed. Is this a week where he's going to say, I'm going to gun to the front, try to get around Chumley? I don't know.
But Stahlbaum has speed with Chumley, and he has the rail, and I don't see any reason why he would do anything to give up that spot, especially if you assume Bit of Legend is going to come moving early. If you're Larry Stahlbaum, don't you want to be sitting in the pocket here at all costs? I say yes, which is why I see Long Live Rock maybe being uncovered here, and sometimes obviously it's a good spot if you're a good horse and a grinder, especially with the with potential traffic issues. But it might be a soft pace here, soft half, and sprinting down the backstretch, and he may be first over here. So
safe to say we have 2 votes of confidence here in race 6 on Saturday at Yonkers for Bit of a Legend, and perhaps a cold $6 exacto over Chumley, the rail horse. You think we'll get $6?
Yeah, I say you get $6.
All right. Well,
I'll take 2. I guess I'll take 2 to 1 on something that figures. So
we're going to move on to race number 8. It's the 2nd division of the 4th leg, and I think this race is a little bit more competitive as far as the contestants here. Somewhere in LA, obviously coming off a win, was really good. Rock and Ron just missed last week. He'd been the series leader the whole way, and we'll take a look at what Rock and Ron did last week as he got run down in the stretch by who picked this horse that beats him?
I don't know. Some the Giwner, is that his name? Derick something or other. We both talked last week how we were going to beat Rock and Ron. You loved Western Fame, who ripped out of a pocket very sharp here to nail Rock and Ron on the wire. I picked Keystone Velocity, who was just simply awful getting away from the 3-hole.
I don't know. Did we see Keystone Velocity finish?
Come on. Yeah, he pulled. He had nothing to offer. He's in the 3rd Levy leg. He'll probably go off 15 to 1 and win Saturday night. Who the hell knows?
Well, let's start with Rock and Ron.
I should say.
Rock and Ron going right to the front in this spot. Pretty certain of that, right?
All right, Rock and Ron is. I'll say right now he is my top pick here. I'm hopping back on board Rock and Ron. I think this is, with somewhere in LA from the rail, I think this is very, very interesting. Who's going to cut the mile here? Does Yannick cut the mile with Rock and Ron? Is Bartlett intent on cutting the mile with someone in LA? One of these two is going to be cutting the mile here. I think it's not a certainty that Rock and Ron's cutting this mile here.
Well, I have some thoughts on cutting the mile in this race, but before we do that, let's take a look at the other favorite in here, which is Somewhere in LA, and the mile he put in last week, which really was a huge performance.
Yeah, he was able to improve position early, tuck early, came uncovered and just blitzed down the backstretch by a speed horse who just offered up no resistance, which obviously made Somewhere in LA's job easier. You can see they're closing in, but it was still a safe and comfortable winner. We've seen this horse be very versatile, come from on the pace, off the pace, first over, second over. What are Bartlett's tactics tonight? Is he intent on sitting in the lead, being in the lead? Does he want to be in the pocket with a possibility of getting locked in?
Here's my thought as far as the lead goes in here. We watched last week, Evening of Pleasure. Bongiorno kind of like floated away. He was gonna make a move. There was too much other action, took back. Now he's stuck in post position number 8 again. You know what? You show up, you get points in this series, but you got to do well if you're going to make the final. And quite frankly, I don't see how he could take back in this spot and get a big piece of this.
Evening of Pleasure you're talking about?
Evening of Pleasure.
Well,
I don't see how he. I think that Bongiorno has to gun off the gate here. Go as fast as he can, 100 miles. But if he sits last, he's not getting anything anyway. I think you got to go 100 miles per hour in this race. Try and get the front. Do I think he's going to win the race? No, but I think he could definitely be in the numbers somewhere. He's going to be a big price. I think he's going to force the pace to be pretty quick, and that's why I went a little bit a different way, and I went Missile J, who was really sharp last week, put up a nice 52 winning mile. We've seen what he could do last year from off the pace when he could follow some cover, and I just think this race might set up for him.
It's worth mentioning Tim Tetrick chose Missile J over the disappointing Chris and Mien, two horses that he drives regularly.
Kristen Me just always looks like he's going somewhere and just never gets there.
I know, like I said, very disappointing. I liked him the first start. He didn't race badly, but once he shook free, he lacked that knockout punch. And he's kind of, I know from bad posts the last 2 starts, but he's kind of regressed, just not really sustaining his run. And now Tim Tetrick bails off him. So I guess if you're a Kristen Me lover, you're going to get a big price on him. Even a Pleasure, we loved him 2 back at 3 to 5 from an inside from a 3-hole. Now he gets stuck with an 8-hole and another 8-hole. Yes, I can see Bongiorno trying to leave. No, I don't really see him getting the lead here. And could he get stuck in no man's land if he tries to leave? It's quite possible.
I just don't see any. I don't see. Whereas in the bit of a legend race, I could certainly see them going to the front in 27 and backing down to 58 half. I don't see how they're getting a 58 half in this race. I think whoever gets the lead's going at least 56 and change to the half. The pace will be decent enough that I think a horse from the back like Missile J can get the job done.
Okay.
And there's no doubt Missile J is going to be the better price than Rock and Ron or Somewhere in LA.
Absolutely. He'll be the 3rd choice, but he'll be a decent 3rd choice price. You can't fault his form. He's done nothing wrong in the 3 legs of the series. He got nailed by a bit of a legend. Kind of got some traffic trouble in the 2nd leg when Western Fame won. You saw he took control last week, put Makitso in the pocket, who came in completely empty, and he won rather comfortably. So I don't like Missile J to win the race. I have him 3rd on my ticket, but I can't fault anybody for staying on that bandwagon. I went with Rock and Ron, but you still didn't answer my question. Who's cutting the mile?
I think Rock and Ron's cutting the mile. So I think Rock and Ron is definitely going to the front. Regardless of what Evening of Pleasure does here. Is it possible that Evening of Pleasure could make the top? Anything's possible. I think Rock and Ron will move back again.
It's also possible that Evening of Pleasure goes off 60 to 1 or 80 to 1. Tries to, Bongiorno looks over, tries to leave, and has to, kind of like last week.
I think this is Rock and Ron's. I don't think Rock and Ron's racing next week. I think he's going to take the week off after this week.
Okay.
So I think he'll put in his, an all-out as much as he can effort this week, take off next week, be in the final the following week. So I think that's what we're going to see. If I had a choice of Rock and Ron or Somewhere in LA, I would go Rock and Ron of the 2, but I'm going to go Missile J on top.
Tactically, it's going to be very interesting early on to see who wants the top, who wants to be cutting the mile, who wants to be sitting in the pocket. I did go with Rock and Ron. I'll come back with him this week after trying to beat him last week. I did beat him last week, just the wrong horse beat him. I don't see any reason why he can't possibly cut this mile. And who is your top pick?
I went Missile J. Where have you been sitting? You've been in the same room as me? Or did you leave and go somewhere else?
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, my goodness.
No, you know what?
Missile J for me.
Fine. I'm so fixated on the Somewhere in LA Rock and Ron
Rock and Ron
debate.
for him. He thinks it's a 2-horse race. I think there might be other horses that want to win. 22 horses left in this Levy division here. We'll see who makes it to the 5th leg next week. We'll evaluate it and see who has enough points to make the final. If I calculate it right, the final's worth $513,000 plus whatever they put in next week. So you should get about $530,000. 2 chalks for Matt, 1 chalk for me, 1 long shot. Good luck on Saturday at Yonkers.